Junk food supper.
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 Junk food
Junk
supper.
food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food supper.
Welcome to Junk Food Supper, episode number 60. This is the internet's number one Schlocktober podcast, where we review a Schlocktober movie each and every week. This week, we picked that frightening French flick, Titane. I'm your host, Screamin' Senbiro, joined as always by our other host, Parker Bonesman, up in the 666. What's shaking, Bonesman?
Hey, well, it's, nothing much. I haven't had time for much of any fun stuff up here. I've been working a lot, so nothing too crazy to report outside of one thing that I don't want to just jump into. Before asking you how you're doing, how your week's going.
Would you at least say that you've been working a frightening amount?
I would say that. It is frightening how much... it's like a very busy time at work, so I've been working so much that it's ruined a lot of my Halloween plans. Like, I wanted to play a bunch of spooky video games. I wanted to replay like all the Walking Dead video games, the Telltale video games, and I just haven't been able to do it yet. I was really stoked to play a lot of horror video games this October and haven't played any of them.
Well,
so that's horrifying.
I'm sure all of these, budgetary planning meetings or whatever's been eating up your time have been hair-raising in their own way, right?
They actually have been a little bit, yeah. I probably shouldn't talk too much shop about that kind of stuff, but there was like a scary couple of minutes at work today when I thought that my newsroom messed something up really bad, but it turns out we didn't, so that part was scary.
Okay, all right, well. I won't press you for any more details. I'm just going to leave that as a mystery for us to all ponder. What could it be that you might have almost messed up? Who knows?
Yeah, well, it's nothing funny. It's just like...
You put out an obit of somebody, and then you're like, oh shit, was that guy really dead? Oh good, he was. Okay.
Yeah. No, it was like something just like boring but substantial. Like, we may have left out the words allegedly when calling somebody a murderer or something like that. Like,
oh no.
Nothing very funny, but like serious business nonetheless. I wish it was something funny.
Diddy. Whether or not Diddy did it.
Nothing alleged about that.
You guys printed the headline that said Diddy did it. You couldn't hold back because it was such a clever headline that you should have put Diddy allegedly did it.
Yeah. There's, no alliteration there. We just wanted to say Diddy did it.
Yeah. And meanwhile, you got Nintendo suing you with the Diddy Kong folks. They're saying, hey, you got to clarify here.
Mm-hmm. Diddy does what Nintendo don't.
I think that is true. And sadly, that is proven to be true. I guess I'm feeling spooky over here, or at least I've been feeling the need for a spook over here. Yeah, I think I've mentioned that on the show in the past few weeks. I've been looking to get spooked, and so within this past week, I decided, here's my approach to getting spooked. I'm going to turn off all the lights in my home, turned off every goddamn light. I went into bathrooms that had doors closed, make sure that, those lights were off. Everything's closed. Everything's off. Except for my television, which I tuned in to a little movie called Long Legs. I streamed the heck out of that Long Legs.
How did you feel about that? I've long been wondering how you would feel about this, because it seems like the kind of movie you would either love or hate.
Well, that's what you would think. Right?
Is total apathy.
I'm very, very much in the middle. This was a C+ kind of movie for me. Didn't dislike it. I'm not here to bury the movie in any kind of a way. I always like when there's a new original horror movie. This is not based on any pre-existing IP, except for maybe Silence of the Lambs and a half dozen other movies that it kind of liberally rips off. Mm-hmm. But I did like it, I guess. Pretty shocked that this movie, though, is the one horror movie that people have been talking about as much as they have been. I didn't see anything that was like that surprising or new in it. I mean, I thought it was decent, and I like those wide-angle lenses that the guy shot the thing with, and those segments that were shot on film I thought looked cool, but I don't know, like, what was your take on it?
I thought it was pretty dull and kind of creepy, but like just totally ruined by Nicolas Cage, as all things are.
Interesting. I thought he was like fairly minimally caged out in this. You know, I don't think this was a very cagey performance from the guy. It was just kind of like, okay, yeah, it's Nick Cage doing his thing. It didn't really go full bore, I didn't think.
I mean, I don't know. He starts singing at a couple of parts, and like the movie ends on like a very gifable sort of a Nick Cage reaction.
I hate that final shot.
Yeah, that's really bad.
And I mean, not to spoil it, I didn't like those, like the metal balls and all that. Like, I was like, what is this stupid? I don't know. I guess that's like them trying to rip off Phantasm or something. I don't know. Yeah,
once it got into kind of like that realm, I didn't really, it kind of lost me at that stuff too. I thought, you know, as like a fun, like Silence of the Lambs type movie, it had me, and then it kind of starts going off the deep end at a certain point, and it lost me.
But it looked great, and I would check out another movie from this director. And you know, I also think if you haven't seen this, go see it. Go support a new horror movie that is not based on existing IP. And I think we need more swings, you know, to be taken. And if people don't support them, then we won't, you know, get those.
That is true. Yeah, it's definitely worth seeing. It is. You know, I know a lot of people like to, you know, I mean, like all the Facebook groups, the horror Facebook groups, and your Joe Bob groups, and everything like this, and you know, us olds generally like to poo-poo the current horror movie output, but I think this year, like, there's been some doozies, like Longlegs, Terrifier, The Substance, Late Night with the Devil. There's a lot of like In a Violent Nature. There's a lot of really Strange Darling. There's a lot of like interesting stuff happening, I think, in the realm of horror movies these days.
Yeah, it feels like we're not. I mean, outside of like killer dolls and like supernatural, like Exorcist type stuff, it feels like we're not really in an era where horror is dominated by like one kind of subgenre. It's not like every movie being made is a slasher. There's, you know, I think there are a lot of recurrent, you know, influences that come back. You know, popular hallmarks of horror will always kind of resurface, and so, you know, the fact that there's a Silence of the Lambs kind of movie in Longlegs, I don't think is a bad thing. I agree. I like the fact that, you know, there's all these different kind of interesting takes on horror. What was the other one? That Australian one, Talk to Me? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. That one was interesting. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of stuff coming out that's like pretty interesting in the horror realm.
Yeah. Infinity Pool a year or two ago, I thought was kind of an interesting new take.
Yeah, for sure. And then even like the bigger like tentpole things, Alien Romulus was fun, Trap was fun. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I think horror is just in a fun place.
I do want to see that Substance movie. I'm less interested in Terrifier, but I'm surmising that the big thing that we're building up to here, your grand experience that you want to regale me with tales of, is your triumphant return to the Terrifier franchise.
Indeed, I saw Terrifier the other night.
Oh,
it was packed movie house. People going nuts. People cheering for people getting mutilated with chainsaws. You love to see this kind of energy at a movie theater. And yeah, it was delightful. I absolutely love these movies. I don't understand. I see a lot of people like poo-pooing them and being like, oh, like it's just gore for the sake of gore. And it's like, my brother in Christ, yeah, like. Did you not grow up watching Jason movies like we all did? We love gore. Like, what is all of a sudden everybody's like, he kills too many people. I don't like that in my slasher movies. It's like, come on, this is what we've always wanted. This a 2.5 hour movie where 90% of it is torture. This is what we've always wanted.
You know what? I mean, as you can see from my, very pick this week, I'm not a stranger to gore, but I don't shy away from graphic violence, in movies. That's something that I treasure. And I had a subscription to Gore Zone magazine as a child, as a young child. But
Yeah,
I think
I don't mean you by any means. I'm not calling you out. I know you haven't seen these, so I don't mean to make it seem like
but
I'm
I think
yelling
what
at you.
people object to is, and again, not being that familiar with these, I've only seen that anthology thing. I think it's the twizzy nature that people don't like. And I don't even really know how to define that. I think it is maybe kind of like that classic definition of porno that whatever one congressman gave or whatever, which is like, you know it when you see it. Mm-hmm. And I think that is kind of what twizzy is, and how that applies to this is like, I don't know what makes the violence in this different other than just something about the way that it's conveyed. And it's not just the clown. It's not just that it looks like an Insane Clown Posse movie,
Yeah, well, it's like, it's weird tonally because the kills are like astoundingly mean-spirited and nihilistic, but the clown is funny. So it's like, you don't know how to feel about this thing, I think, in a lot of ways. I think it's an interesting mix of emotions that gets people riled up on either side of it.
Well, Freddy was funny, and we all loved Freddy's quips.
Well, that's true. I don't think Freddy's not as evil as Art the Clown, though.
Oh, really?
And also,
now we're downgrading the Dream Demon himself?
Hey, I love Freddy, but he's funny in a different way. He's not. Wow. This clown is silly. He's like a silly goose.
Man, did Schlocktober have to be the month where I discover that Parker Bowman hates Freddy Krueger?
Listen, I love Freddy.
Breaking my heart over here.
Freddy's very funny. I love all the stuff he does, but he's funny in a different way. He's a quippy sort of a jokester guy. Whereas Art is he's just a silly man, He's just like a silly little puppy.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Seems like you were not alone in enjoying it. This movie was a smash success, beating even the Joker sequel in the Joker sequel's second week of release. A $200 million movie got usurped by what I'm guessing is probably a $2 million movie or something. If that. I mean, who even knows what they spend on these things, but not much.
Yeah, not very much at all. Yeah, it is wild. Going into this year, I never would have guessed that Art would be the number one killer clown at the box office this year.
It's pretty wild. But yeah, and good for Damien Leone, who I think owns the character, right? And owns the rights and is probably going to get super rich off all this. Seemingly, yeah. It seems like, I was at the mall like a couple of months ago before Halloween even started. It was still summertime, and I saw some old lady, probably like a 60-year-old lady, wearing an Art shirt. Like, I don't know, it's captured the imaginations and the merchandise booths of America. And, going back to us getting more swings at horror movies, hopefully, he redirects at least some of this money that he's making off this Art the Clown to enabling other, young filmmakers to make some sleaze for us to all enjoy. Yeah. I know they're doing, right? They're doing another Terrifier. But yeah, I don't know what his plans are after that. But yeah, hopefully it's something like that, yeah. Roger Corman's sadly no longer with us. Let's get some new Schlockmeister out there to enable a new generation of low-budget horror filmmakers. Yeah, I agree. We've got our Jason Blum, but those Blumhouse movies are... Those don't qualify. Yeah, some of them are good, but mostly they're just Halloween ends. Yeah, and that is the rare case in which it is actually a relatively gory movie. Not super gory, but I feel like in general, those Blumhouses, they kind of under-deliver on the gore, right? Yeah, usually. All right, well, congrats on your terrifying week, both at work and at the cinema. Thank you. Do you think you're going to see Terrifier 2 or 3 again? Yes. Yes. There's other stuff coming out. Like, there's another horror movie called Smile 2 that's coming out this weekend.
So I might go see that and then see Terrifier afterwards. Get a nice double feature in this weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely want to see it again. It's fun to see with a crowd, this Terrifier movie. It's like, usually I hate going into a theater and there's like other people around because they're checking their phones and doing whatever they're doing. But seeing this with a crowd was fun. Just like people freaking out every time an arm got chopped off or whatever was super fun.
Man, I'm looking at it now. The runtime on this thing is 2 hours, 5 minutes, you're telling me? That's a long-ass movie.
Yeah, part 2 was like 2.5 hours or something like that, which is pretty wild. But I mean, I didn't feel it when I was in there. I think it just breezes by. Like it's a pretty quick paced movie. So I had fun with it.
Yeah, budget of $2 million. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, pretty cheap movie. I think the first one I think was like 30,000 or something like that. Like just something like insanely low. Like,
man, we spend more than that producing one episode of this podcast.
That's true. Yeah. So I'm glad they're successful. But yeah, it's a good week for horror movies, I guess. But is it a good week for cars, Sean Byron?
That sounds like a transition to me that could only be broadcast together with a sound clip from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, because it's our first segment.
Yep.
And that's how we start our segments. It's how we've always started our segments.
Mm-hmm.
What is this segment that you've devised?
Well, we're going to be talking about a car movie later, Titane.
Oh, yeah, it is kind of a car movie.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of. I mean, that's like kind of, I mean, we'll talk about it, but that's the only thing I'd ever heard of that movie is like it's about cars, which it mostly is. It kind of is. But I figured we'd talk about some of our favorite movie cars, like perhaps if we could have a car from the movies or just cars we've enjoyed from the movies. Our top 3 movie cars.
Okay. Wow. Exciting. And so this will be definitive, right? You know, this is going to be set in stone. These are not only our favorite movie cars. Let's go ahead and say these are the best movie cars. It's canonical.
I don't know if I'm going to go that far because there are some like pretty like obvious picks that I left off my list that I have in honorable mentions that I figured we could talk about just to like kind of, you know, get some fresh blood in here. So I'm not going to go so far as to say these are canonically my favorite.
That's a relief because my list is maybe closer to 3 cars I briefly thought of right before the show that are kind of cool. And hopefully I didn't omit any massively awesome cars that I should have remembered.
Okay. Well, yeah, I've got a couple that are like just like no-brainers that I figured we would both have on our lists maybe, or like, I don't know, we'll talk about them in honorable mentions, but I didn't want to just do the no-brainers.
I feel like I know what the number one no-brainer is. And if we don't match on the number one no-brainer, I think I'll be kind of surprised.
I think so. So yeah, but I'll give you my number 3.
Oh, your number 3? You don't want me to go first?
Well, if you would like to.
I'm just kind of afraid that you're going to steal my pick for number 3, because my number 3 I feel like is a classic number 3 pick. It's not the kind of car that you would ever slot in a number 2 or number 1 slot, but as a number 3, I think it's right on. And to tell you a little bit about this car, it is a 1958 Cadillac. Originally, before it was painted. Well, it probably was red to begin with, but before the soft top was painted in a alternating red and green pattern, because this is the Freddy car at the end of the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie that, our cast gets in and they're driving away thinking everything is cool until that top comes down and it looks like Freddy's sweatshirt. And we're like, oh shit, that's not the normal type of soft top on a 1958 Cadillac. It didn't come in those colors. That's got to be a dream demon.
I do like this car. This is a car I would love to own. Like just like driving around in a Freddy car.
Yeah, and I feel like it's not yet capitalized on. You know, like I see a Ghostbusters car, I want to say at least once a year, somebody in LA is driving a Ghostbusters car on the 405. They're driving it on the 10. They're driving it on the 101. I see Jurassic Park cars every fucking day of my life. I think everybody that I know has a Jurassic Park car. And
I almost put that on my list, by the way, the Jurassic Park car.
well, thank God you didn't.
I do like that car.
But I've never seen anybody driving one of these, not even at like a horror convention or, you know, not even anywhere. What I have seen is like they make like die-cast replicas of cars from horror movies, and a lot of times it's just some nondescript car where you'll be like, oh yeah, I guess that is the truck from the end of Texas Chainsaw, but you wouldn't have known if they didn't put the words Texas Chainsaw on the packaging. But this one is one of the ones where you're like, oh yeah, this is cool, and I would own this, and I would put this on a shelf.
Yeah. It's there's a lot of cool vehicles in the Freddy filmography. I feel like the motorcycle that Dan has in part 5 that he turns into is pretty cool. That's a cool vehicle.
Oh yeah, with those weird like veins that, you know, grip into his arm.
Yeah. I feel like maybe there's some more. I think there's like a cool truck at one point, but and of course the bus in part 2.
Yeah. But only one of these vehicles can you use to trap Heather Langenkamp. And I think that should be a factor.
That is true, yeah. And Johnny Depp, he's in there too. This is a good car. I wish I owned this car. You're right.
But it's not your number 3.
It is not my number 3.
Well, surprise me.
My number 3 is kind of a tie. Because there's 2 cars in filmdom that are almost the same exact car, so I figured I'd have to throw them in together. And I kind of couldn't decide which one I like more, even though one of the movies that they're from is infinitely better than the other. But as far as cars, I couldn't decide. But that's the 2 most famous Gran Torinos in Hollywood. The 1972 Ford Gran Torino from the movie Gran Torino, which you recently learned that I love.
Oh.
And the 1975 Gran Torino from Starsky and Hutch.
Oh.
You don't like the Starsky and Hutch cars?
No, I love it. I'm hitting buttons over here. I don't know why I do it. I just do it sometimes.
I know why.
He's got his own M.O. Modus operandi.
It's true.
Yep. But they're very cool cars. I like those big, boisterous, loud, muscly cars. Like, I'm not a car guy or anything by any means, but those cars with like, where the hood is like fucking bigger than an apartment, you know, like, and the trunks are like massive. And
do you like those hoods where like the engine's popping out of the hood? You know what I'm talking about? Where they've cut open a panel or something?
My man Dominic Toretto from the Fast and the Furious movies, he's got one of those.
I had a Hot Wheel that had one of those.
It's very cool. I don't understand the practicality of it. I mean, I guess maybe it's a bigger, more powerful engine, so it needs to pop out, maybe? I don't know if it's cosmetic or not.
Is it for air cooling?
Well, that could be.
Cool that sucker off with some air while you're driving?
That very well could be. But I like these Gran Torinos. I assume that they're pretty fast. They look pretty spacious. And they look nice. Are you a big Starsky and Hutch fan? I know we've talked about Starsky and Hutch before on the show. Are you a fan of either of these cars or properties?
I should actually look up this car before I comment on it. So let me just do that real quick. Starsky and Hutch car. We're talking about from the movie, the Ben Stiller movie, or does it not matter?
It's both. I think they use the same kind of car for the TV show and the movie.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at this Gran Torino. I like the stripe on the side. I don't really know this car that well. I think I saw the Ben Stiller movie, but I didn't ever watch the show, and I don't really remember much about it. But love that stripe. Yeah, this is a badass looking car. I guess my question is, Bowman, I feel pretty confident in my ability to handle a 1958 Cadillac going around town. Do you think you could handle this beast? This might be too much car for you.
It's very possible. My very first car was a 1980 Ford Fairmont station wagon, so that's only a few years removed and a different type of car altogether, but relatively close chronologically and also a Ford. So I feel like that has prepared me to drive one of these cars.
Okay, so yeah, you're familiar with all the the quirks of a mid-century Ford, I guess.
Yeah, I could drive this one. But
all right.
Yeah. So what about your number 2? What do you got for that?
My number 2 is a vehicle. It's a car from a movie that JFD covered about 10,000 years ago, before I even was on the show. But I watched along when you guys reviewed Megaforce, and I fell in love with the car in that movie that I guess is called the Mega Destroyer 1. All of these vehicles that are in this Megaforce movie were memorialized in a line of Hot Wheels at the time, something that I didn't know until fairly recently. But I do want to get my hands on some of these Hot Wheels because the cars in this movie are really cool. The Mega Destroyer is kind of like an off-road type vehicle with like a really sleek kind of triangular design. It's got like rockets on the top of it. It's for warfare, it's for like desert warfare. I also need to give a special shout out to the motorcycle from the movie, which is called the Mega Fighter, apparently, which also was going to be produced as a Hot Wheels, but I guess it never got past the prototype stage. You can see photos of the prototype online, though, and it looked like it would have been kind of cool. I just love all these cars from Megaforce, and especially that Mega Destroyer.
Is it the Mega Destroyer 1 or the Mega Destroyer 2, which is black? The brown one or the black one?
I like the brown one. Did the black one ever show up in the movie? Is that really even a thing in the movie, I wonder? I feel like some of these Hot Wheels are just like, some random dude at Mattel's idea of what might have been in the movie.
I think that's probably right. Yeah, I don't remember the black one. I do like this Hot Wheels fandom wiki page, though, because it shows you photos of the original cars with the packaging, and you could have gotten these at Toys R Us for $1.58 back in the old days.
Damn, dude.
What a time to be alive.
What was I doing wasting my money anywhere else?
Yeah. But yeah, these are great. I think I might spend some time on this wiki page because, yeah, they got a lot of cool packaging on here. But yeah, this car rules. I actually kind of like the personnel carrier. It's just like kind of like a Ford Bronco, but I don't know. There's something about it that kind of speaks to me. It's like,
yeah, it's pretty cool.
I kind of like that. But yeah, what a weird movie to get a Mattel tie-in. I mean, I guess in the wake of Star Wars, like toy companies probably would have just gambled on anything to see if anything stuck, but
yeah. Well, I mean, there are a lot of cool vehicles in it. I mean, it's like a low budget movie that you would feel would be completely beneath the radar, but I think they picked a great property to make into Hot Wheels, because you also got that weird van looking thing, the long van with the 6 wheels called TACCOM, I guess Tactical Command, maybe.
Yeah, that one's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like all these like earth tones, like these browns and oranges, like very, very late 70s, early 80s looks to these cars.
I should also mention, maybe the greatest film screening of my life that I ever attended was Megaforce at the New Beverly. Director Hal Needham was there, and he brought the motorcycle and the car. And I've got a cool photo of me posing with Hal Needham and the Mega Destroyer.
I've seen those photos.
Yeah, it was a seminal moment in my life.
You can get the TACCOM vehicle. It's selling for $160 right now on wearetoys.com.
For like a half inch of aluminum and plastic?
Yeah, the little Hot Wheels, yep.
What a world.
What a world. Marked up. That might be the biggest markup, from $1.68 or whatever to $160.
Well, I think I'll just have to tide myself over with these high-res scans of the packaging instead.
That's understandable.
That's all I really need. Yeah, I'm going to print them out and just put them on my wall. Tape them up. It'll look like I have the toys if you just look at my wall straight on, not from an angle at all.
That's true, yeah.
Which I will insist you do next time you come over,
That's what I always do. I always just, move horizontally on down the line whenever I look at your room with all the toys and VHS tapes. So that's how I do it. I'll be tricked instantly.
Yeah, that's how I've fooled you all these years.
You don't even have any VHS tapes. No. It's just printouts.
Just a meticulously categorized collection of printouts.
Well, speaking of printouts,
let's.
My number 2 is, I think, I can't tell if in the movie, like if the movie wants us to think this is a cool car or a lame car, but I've always thought it was cool. And that's the Warlock van from Rock and Roll High School. Clint Howard's character drives it, and it's a van from the late 70s, so you can imagine how tricked out it was. It's got an airbrushed wizard on the side. The inside has carpeting and tables and like bead curtains and like all the cool stuff that you would expect from a van of the time. I've always loved vans. When I was a little kid, we had like a big van like that had like a bed type of a thing in the back. And on road trips, it was just like the most fun to be back there. Like you could like climb under the bed part, and it was like a little fort, and I would do that from time to time. It was just super fun. So I've had a thing for cool vans of this type, and kind of sad that they don't really exist anymore. Hopefully they come back one day. When we're all forced to like live in our cars because the economy has crashed, maybe they'll come back. But who's to say? Do you remember this car from Rock and Roll High School?
I would be lying if I said that I did remember it until I Google image searched it, and then I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. But one thing that you didn't mention about it that is kind of interesting is that it's I guess what you would call a chopped van, where they've modified the top half of it to be shorter. Like the ceiling is very low for some reason.
Yeah.
And I guess it's for aesthetic reasons, and it does look kind of cool, but I wonder if that would kind of cramp your style in there, These vans, I feel like, are supposed to be, the icon of comfort. And if I can't even really, stand up comfortably in the back, what's the point?
Well, I think you may know the point. You take a lady back there.
You're telling me that I'm supposed to be getting a horizontal in there? I'm trying to get vertical, man.
No, there's no standing room. You and your lady friend have to lay down in the back of the car.
But then how are we gonna play billiards?
Well, that's a good point. There is room enough for a billiards table back there. But yeah, it is kind of aesthetically odd because, looking at these photos, like the guy and Clint Howard who are hanging out in the van, like they're taller than the van, which is like not normally what you want out of a van, to be taller than it. But I guess, I don't know, that is kind of unique in itself.
Yeah. I'm looking at an article right now. It looks like somebody found the van. It had been missing for a long ass time, and in like 2017 they found it. It was all beat up and rusty, and they fully restored it. So the van lives again. Yeah,
I saw that. Sadly, the Warlock on the side didn't survive, but at least the van's still out there.
Yeah, with that weird chop job.
Yeah.
All right, well, good pick. Great movie.
Well, thank you. What is your number 1 favorite car from a movie?
My number 1 favorite is the Landmaster, which, if you don't remember, we have talked about the Landmaster on the show before. The Landmaster is a unique 12-wheeled amphibious articulated vehicle constructed by Dean Jeffries at Jeffries Automotive in Universal City, California. It was produced for the 1977 sci-fi movie Damnation Alley at a cost of $350,000, which adjusted for inflation is a cool $2 million. And this thing is a legitimate engineering marvel. It is amphibious. It can be driven through water. It does have 12 wheels that are in like a pyramid formation. You know, there's 4 clusters of 3 wheels, and those 3 wheel designs actually do function in helping it climb up mountains and stuff like that. It's got a hinge in the middle of the body, so it's like this super long van kind of thing, probably like 20 feet long or something, but with a big hinge in the middle, kind of like you see on some city buses these days, but I think in 1977 was probably unheard of. And it's fucking rad. I love this thing. I love it in the movie Damnation Alley, which, if you haven't seen that movie, I think you would like it a lot, Bowman. It's kind of a Fallout sort of a thing, where it's very deserty and post-apocalyptic, and all this journeying across the country is being done in this crazy Landmaster vehicle.
Yeah, I like the movie. We did it on the show.
Oh, we did? Okay, yeah. And, it also showed up in The Wizard of Speed and Time.
Oh, yeah.
Parked on a sidewalk about 17 minutes into the movie. And then it's in that Get a Life episode, Paperboy 2000, where Chris Elliott uses it to deliver newspapers.
Oh, yeah. I like that this car has had such longevity in film.
Yeah, well, and I think like maybe a dozen other appearances as well, and things that I care about less than those. But yeah, it's had a life, and I think it's still being maintained by a loving owner, which is a good thing for a vehicle that cost, $2 million to make. Yeah. This would be a little bit impractical to drive around in, but you'd be the center of attention. You go to like a car show and you pull up in this, and everybody's coming to you, Yeah, and if there's any obstacles along the way, I'm just blowing right over them, man.
That is also true. Yeah,
I don't think there's
and
anything
also when the apocalypse comes, you can live in your car.
Absolutely, yeah. And I don't have to worry about a chopped top. This thing is like 15 feet tall, it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
12 feet tall, apparently. I'm looking at the stats now. 12 feet tall, 35 feet in length, and 23,000 pounds.
Man, you're not getting good gas mileage in that. I can guarantee you.
Takes a crew of 4 to operate, and that's going to be a problem. I don't have 3 friends, now that Kevin's abandoned us.
That's what? Is like the guy working the brakes and the gas, is he like in the back or something? Like, how would that even work?
I don't know. I guess probably one man for the guns, right?
Yeah.
He can't be distracted. And then, I don't know.
Okay.
The other 3 are behind it pushing?
That could be. I don't know if that makes me like this car more or less. That it's a 4-man job.
What about the fact that it's got a 2-foot ground clearance? You like that?
Oh, I do like that, yeah.
Yeah. Don't have to really worry about any kind of debris in the road.
That's good, because, there's just garbage shopping carts and stuff in the road out here where I live, so it'd be nice to be able to drive over those.
Yeah, and with this amphibious body, he'll be the king of the surf ranch in this thing,
Yeah, it's true. Just sail through the lazy river they have there.
Why not?
Well, speaking of sailing down the lazy river, my number 1 car. I'm not even sure what kind of car this is. I couldn't find the information. But it's the car from Van Nuys Boulevard. It's on the poster. It's Chooch's car. You may remember Van Nuys Boulevard as a movie we talked about on the show a long time ago.
I remember it as a boulevard as well.
Yeah, that's also this is a good point. But the Chooch, he was like this guy who's not a creep. He just used to cruise down Van Nuys Boulevard on Wednesday nights. And he has like this kind of car. It's like kind of like a hot rod. Like the engine is exposed to the elements. There's no top to it.
They're doing that air cooling that we love so much.
Yeah, he's got the air cooling. Like the entire wheels are exposed. The headlights are just like lamps, kind of. It's got one of those windshields that's just like a strip of glass. I don't know, very old timey. Kind of looks like the kind of thing Herman Munster would be into.
Yeah. This is a joke pick, right?
No, I think this is cool.
You're going to reveal to me the actual cool car in just one moment, right? After the novelty of this humor has worn off.
What are you talking? Look, what? You're the one who picked the blimp as your favorite car.
A land-born blimp is a beautiful thing. This thing, it looks like a mistake. It looks like he forgot to finish building this thing, you know?
Well, it kind of does look like that, but you get better gas mileage that way with less car. You know, it was the 70s.
And I'm fine with the missing hood, although this is not really the cool cutout panel situation. This is more just like you forgot to put a fucking hood on your car. It's the fact that there's no roof going on, not even like a cool soft top. There's no styling at all to this thing. I mean, look at these plain ass hubcaps.
I mean, he lives in the San Fernando Valley. What kind of top does he need? It's sunny all the time, 70 degrees all the time.
I don't know, Chooch. I think just take a look around you and all these cool vans, all these cool Cadillacs, you know, like isn't a cool Lincoln in the movie. Like, a lot of these cars are just much cooler than what Chooch has got going on. I don't know.
I do like the main guy's van. He's got a cool van in the movie.
The Wild Cherry van, is that what we're talking about?
I think that's
the red one.
Yeah, there's a few cool ones in the movie. Should probably rewatch it.
I think you picked an all-time classic cool car movie, but you picked maybe the only car in it that's not cool.
It's on the poster.
Yeah, I know.
It's gotta be cool if it's on the poster.
All right, fair enough.
Well, what kind of honorable...
there's also a cop car on the poster. Does that make police cool?
Police are cool, Sean Byron. Well, let's get to our picks. They may be even better than the ones we actually picked, but they're a little bit too basic to call as our own.
So let's see if we can both just immediately land on the number one basic bitch pick that we thought of, and then we're like, we can't pick that because it's too obvious. It's got to be Death Race 2000, the Frankenstein car, right?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I did have that one on the list, but I thought that the number one most basic car that we couldn't pick would be the 1977 Oldsmobile Delta 88 from all the Evil Dead movies.
Okay. I mean, again, not an especially cool car. Like, we all love Sam Raimi, and we love the fact that it's in all of his movies because it was his personal car or whatever, but if you were driving that around town, I think you'd pretty quickly say, man, I wish I had picked the Landmaster.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
instead.
I don't like if you could have any of these cars. Like, wouldn't you want the Evil Dead car though?
No, it's just a regular. I could have that probably for like $3,000. Isn't that the whole thing about the car? Is that it's not desirable? The thing that we know about that car is that it's a crappy, cheap car that anybody could have.
Well, all right, that's a pretty good point.
Right? There's nothing stopping you from attaining this dream, Bowman.
The actual car, I mean.
Well, what about just the same make and model? Does that does nothing for you? It's the fact that it was in these movies is what you like about it?
Well, I mean, I like both. I like as I said, I like those big boaty cars that are just fucking huge pieces of steel.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like that too, but...
All right, well, the Frankenstein car is a good one.
Yeah, see, the Frankenstein car, that was made by George Barris, the famed automobile customizer. It's got all kinds of cool, like, monster face qualities to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The Vanishing Point car. The 1970 Dodge Challenger. That's a good one. A little too basic, but it's great. What do you think about the Mirthmobile from Wayne's World?
You've got a real interesting selection of vehicles lined up here, I think.
You don't like the Mirthmobile? That's a classic car. It's got the licorice dispenser on the roof. That's perfect.
Fine. And there's that one movie with the car that dispenses whiskey, but just a regular ass car from the 80s. You could get any of these.
I mean, they also got to be street legal. I mean, you take your Landmaster out on the road, you're getting pulled over in 15 minutes. Your insurance is going to go straight through the roof.
The actual Mirthmobile, the Mirthmobile is kind of cool. I'm looking at it now. I forgot how cool this car is.
Yeah, it's a good one.
1976 AMC Pacer with a cool kind of bubble back. That we all like a bubble back.
Mm-hmm.
This was sold in 2016 for $37,000.
Oh wow, that's the actual one?
Yeah, the actual one.
Wow, that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
They also made that version that was like a limo for Wayne's World 2, which would be cool.
Well, let's not be crazy.
Well, all right, that's a good point. What about the General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard? Do you like that one, or is that too problematic nowadays to like? Should we leave that one off the list?
Isn't it just it's just a car, right? It doesn't have a monster face or an amphibious body, right?
I mean, it's just a car. It like jumps over the police. You're hauling around moonshine in the fucking thing. It's got a big trunk for moonshine.
I mean, if we're going to do one of these, racist Southern cars, let's get Smokey and the Bandit involved, right?
Well, yeah, Smokey and the Bandit's car is also pretty good. It's much less racist. It doesn't have the Confederate flag on top, which is, I guess, a plus. That's also a good car.
All right, well, those were all the best cars. I think we've settled it. It's the official list in order. Make sure that you write it down and refer back to it when you need to know what were the best cars.
Yep, these were the ones. Let us know in a voicemail if you like these cars, what your favorite car is, if the General Lee is too racist to drive around in, by calling 347-746-JUNK. That's 347-746-5865. Let us know all those things.
Oh, hell yeah.
Exactly. All right. You ready to get into this movie?
I think so. So I think that about wraps up this first half of the show, but stick around because we will be coming back. We're not going to just leave you, waiting weeks and weeks for our review of Titane. It'll be right after this break, so stick around.
Oh, my pretty little... I love you. So I stroke it, pet it. It's my naughty cat, and I know. I killed her!
Well, no one told me about her, the way she lied. But it's too late to say you're sorry. How would I know? Why should I care? Please don't bother trying to find her. She's not there. Well, let me tell you about the way she looked, the way she acted, the color of her hair. Her voice was soft and cool, her eyes were clear and bright, but she's not there.
All right, welcome back to Junk Food Supper, and pardon our French, but the movie tonight will be Titane, I think is how you would say it. It's French for titanium. This movie came out in 2021, and it was actually, as we all know, the 2021 Palme d'Or winner. It's also the second and, to date, most recent feature from French filmmaker Julia Ducournau, whose first movie, Raw, I think we all liked, at least until it reached its ruthless aggression era, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
We did that on the show, right? Raw, did we cover that on JFD?
We did, yeah. I think Kevin picked it, maybe. I think I liked it less than you guys. I thought it was fine. I wasn't over the moon for it. But I found it interesting. So it made me interested in this.
I was a fan of it at the time, and so I was excited for this second film from Julia Ducournau. And first off, I guess we should clear this up because there was some confusion last week when this was selected. This is a horror movie, right? You would agree that this is a horror movie, right?
I mean, kind of. It's like, it's got that existential horror to it. It's like the same kind of horror that like Eraserhead is, where it's like, it's not horror, but it is horror.
I mean, there are horrific gore moments that happen in this movie that I think those moments alone would put this in the horror category, right?
I think so. I mean, I would say it's horror, but like you kind of have to put an asterisk there. Like if somebody was saying, hey, I want to watch a scary movie tonight, a horror movie, you wouldn't suggest this. Like you wouldn't suggest this or Eraserhead or Tetsuo the Iron Man, although all of those movies are horror.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
All right. Well, it's maybe a borderline horror pick. I feel like this is appropriate for the month of Schlocktober. I guess if you're out there in Junk Food Dinnerland and you disagree, let us know. Send us a voicemail. But I think, I don't know, I felt like it was appropriate. And I just wanted to pick this movie because this is a movie that I've just, been wanting to bring to the show for a while, or, bring to one of our shows at least. Since seeing it. Go ahead.
As the show's biggest David Lynch fan, I certainly would not object to an existential dread sort of a horror movie being involved with Schlocktober. So I'm good with it as the leading David Lynch fan here.
Okay, but you are only good with it under those qualifications? Like if we determine that you are not, in fact, the biggest David Lynch fan, that means that you're no longer okay with this in Schlocktober? Or tell me what the parameters are here.
Yeah, if somehow I ever became not the biggest David Lynch fan, which would never happen because of how much I like David Lynch, then I would suddenly become upset that we did this movie during Schlocktober. In retrospect.
All right. Well, now that we've got that clarified, and that was very important, I also want to apologize to the listener for yet again picking a movie where I feel like it's the kind of movie that you really shouldn't see spoiled. It's really the kind of movie that you got to go into completely blind as possible. And I keep picking these movies that I shouldn't spoil, but inherent in our review, we're going to spoil this thing. So I will just say up top again, this movie is very easy to find on all of the major streaming platforms. You can rent it for a couple bucks. You can get it free in other places. Go watch it before we ruin this movie for you.
Yeah, definitely go watch it. You don't want to be spoiled here.
Yeah. And now, with no further ado, let's spoil it. Let's talk about the plot. This movie starts off with a short opening scene where we see a young girl riding in a car with her dad. She's being kind of annoying in the back seat, and he gets distracted by her, and then they end up crashing the car, which almost kills her, but she is ultimately saved and has a large titanium plate fitted into her skull. Hence the name of the movie. We then cut into modern day, where we see that same girl is now an adult, and she's a exotic dancer at auto shows. She's seemingly popular at her craft, but she's also kind of operating in a world of creepy dudes. And so late one night, one of these creeps up on her, and she kills the dude. And then in one of the more surprising turns in all of cinema, she fucks one of the fancy lowrider cars that she was dancing on top of at the auto show. Mm-hmm. She really fucks it, and the car seems to be really into it. She's definitely really into it. But nothing fun can last forever because her dalliance with this sedan leads to an unwanted vehicular pregnancy in her very own uterus. She starts blowing up like a blimp, sort of like a land-born landmaster blimp. She starts oozing motor oil from places that don't usually ooze motor oil. And to make things more complicated for her, she can't stop killing dudes. As a last resort, she ends up taking refuge in the home of a steroid-addled old fireman who has lost his son. She basically poses as this lost son in an effort to kind of lay low. And it seems like maybe he believes her. And that's basically a lot of the setup for the plot. It's most of what happens in this movie. And we can talk more about, the ending and how it resolves if you like. But I think throughout this movie, it does touch on some interesting themes. There's obviously a lot of feminist theme in this. There's also some homoerotic stuff in this that is kind of interesting. There's a lot of, I think, meditation on the relationship between trauma and addiction. And this director, Julia Ducournau, was born to a gynecologist mother and a dermatologist father. So I'm guessing that maybe sort of helped her towards this path that she ultimately went on, where she's now making these surreal body horror movies that are kind of half Cronenberg, half Lynch. I will say this is one of those movies without a rootable character. But if you are like me, the director herself becomes kind of the rootable character, where you're just watching this and thinking like, oh yeah, Julia knocked this out of the park. And I think for the most part she does. But even if the characters were fucked up, the actors in this are great. The lead actress, Agatha Russell, who plays Alexia, I think got a lot of praise when this movie came out, and I think she definitely deserved it. It is one of those classic physical transformation type roles where she has to shave her head and wear a lot of makeup. Also has to play a good chunk of the movie mute, and so she has to convey a lot of emotion, with no words, which is not easy. She has to play like an undercover female in kind of a male role, which is an interesting kind of difficult, I would imagine, thing to pull off. And of course, there's a lot being asked of her in terms of nudity and in terms of emotions she's got to convey, and I think she nails all of it. I will say, though, and maybe you agree with me, Bowman, she does spend most of the second half of this movie looking almost exactly like Dario Argento, which I think is, again, a lot to be asked of if you're an actress.
That is true. I thought that she looked like Owen Wilson, but you're right. It's more of an Argento than an Owen Wilson.
Yeah, well, she ends up breaking her nose, so yeah, she gets that kind of Owen Wilson-y nose. But quite a transformation for her. I think also it should be mentioned that the guy who plays the fireman in this, Vincent, played by the actor Vincent Linden, he's great too. It's this character that can seem very unhinged at times, but then also very tender and loving in other moments, and spends a lot of this movie just kind of riding that line that makes the character kind of, unpredictable and exciting to watch. And, this movie sets you up to be on edge because it does feel like anything can happen in this movie. I think they do a smart thing where they introduce this traumatic brain injury for the lead character in the first scene. And then from there, I feel like it's possible to interpret, the events of the movie as being, maybe not strictly aligned with reality. Maybe we're seeing through her perception of what's happening, and maybe that's not exactly what's happening because this is a character that had a traumatic brain injury, so when cars become sentient or other weird stuff happens, it does feel more plausible, maybe, And, the movie also conditions you to expect a lot of unexpected, gnarly, real-feeling violence, and it gives you plenty of it. There's a nipple-biting scene in this that I think in just about any other movie would stand out as being pretty gnarly, but in this, it's just another nipple torture scene.
If it would have just been another nipple torture scene, I would have been furious.
That's right, Kevin. And especially because it leads immediately into a graphic home abortion scene where, our leading lady jams a metal rod up into herself. And despite all of this ghoul stuff, I will say this is still an actual movie. I think this is good proof that you can have both. You can have a movie that has plenty of ghoul elements, but still is a movie and is not just a puke porn. There's also some very scary scenes in this with what seems to be like real fire. I don't think that was CG fire. And so they were shooting things, with fire stunts with these actors that I feel like that stuff's pretty tricky to shoot sometimes, not cheap or easy, and they made it look good. And overall, this is a very nicely shot movie featuring two of the better looking French fireman dance party scenes I've ever seen in my life. And by the way, this single dad fireman is a freak because the bathroom at home where he shoots up all of his steroids is all pink tile surfaces in that bathroom, and that's an interesting choice. Although I'd be lying if I didn't admit that I do want those pink tiles in my bathroom immediately, and I'm going to try and source those after we get off this call. But I guess
agree. Not to interrupt, but I do love those pink tiles because all throughout this movie, the director's just like playing around with and juxtaposing like gender and tropes. Tropes is maybe not the right word, but so like the fact that this guy goes to the bathroom to shoot up steroids so that he can keep doing this very macho profession of his, firefighting, and then partying all night with other buff young men. Like the fact that bathroom is pink, I think is, I don't know, like I'm not exactly sure what the director's trying to say, but I love it. Like the fact that like this place where he goes to do this secretive, dirty, trying to stay macho thing in this very like pink feminine room, I think is a very lovely juxtaposition.
I'm certain it was a choice. I'm not sure that I know what it means, and I guess that maybe does kind of tie into my only complaint with this movie, and I think complaint is putting it strongly because on the whole I really do love this movie. I think it's an awesome wild ride. It's really great to look at. You kind of don't know where it's going to go next, but as a story, I don't know if it's fully satisfying. You sort of get to the end and you're like, okay, that's all? And not to spoil the final moments, although maybe we will get there in a minute, but it's just like, all right, like, couldn't this maybe go on for another 30 minutes and pay off what just happened there? Because I think that there is still plenty to explore by the end of this movie that has gone unexplored. So that's kind of a letdown. I also feel like outside of the narrative being sort of a slight letdown, I'm not sure that I took any meaning away from it, and I think some viewers could maybe spend a lot of time watching this and trying to find all sorts of metaphors about, maybe it's about American cultural imperialism, perverting traditional French values or something. I mean, there's a million ways to read something like this. I'm sure if the blank check guys, or somebody smart like that tackled this, they'd have a bunch of smart things to say about it and what it means. But I wasn't really able to put any of that together. I got to the end and I'm like, okay, well, that was a wild ride. And maybe that's enough. I don't know. I mean, I still enjoyed the ride. I don't think it needs to have a deep meaning for me. It was certainly a lot of stuff that you don't usually see or ever get to see, and all handled very capably. And I thought it was entertaining and gripping throughout, and again, great performances. And so, long story short, I liked this movie a lot. But what about a Bowman? Did this put a little schlock in your Tober?
Yeah, I would say that it did. I remember a few years ago, everybody was loving this movie. I think, if memory serves, I think it was in you and Kevin's top 5 of the year it came out.
I thought this was a lot of fun.
I think Kevin likes it. And yeah, I just never got around to it. But I've been curious. All I ever heard about this movie was that it's a lady with a car. Like that's, which is
you heard that she fucked the car?
No, just a lady, like she has a car or like she drives a car. Like not even that she fucked the car. I don't think I ever heard that. Somehow
you thought it was just going to be like a death proof or something. This lady's got a cool car that she likes to drive.
Yeah, something like that, or like that she kills people in the car. I just really didn't know. Just like a horror movie about a lady in a car, like, and it's weird. So it kind of didn't prepare me for what was going to happen. Gladly, and yeah, it's like you said. It takes you to a lot of strange and unexpected places. I mean, it flips around things that you don't expect to be flipped around too. Like, when she's, the character starts out the movie like very feminine, and she's, an erotic dancer on the cars, and she's wearing like very, very like revealing and feminine clothes, and then that gets flipped, and she becomes very masculine later on in the movie and stuff. But like,
yeah, even has to like tape down her bosom,
Yeah. But before that, like, she's getting hit on by all those dudes, and that guy follows her to her car, and you think that this is going to be like, I mean, I was thinking it was going to turn into like some I spit on your grave type of thing, because this guy's like being creepy towards her, and he's like, hey, can I get your autograph? And he's like, well, now I need a little kiss before I go. And like, he's getting real creepy. And so I thought that he was going to attack her, but then she attacks him. And
yeah, it's definitely like an overreaction on her part. Like he doesn't, I mean, maybe the guy's a creep, but he doesn't do anything murderable, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, then we find out that she just likes murdering people. Like she's been doing a lot of murders. So, but that's like a fun flip to do, is like, it subverts your expectations, I suppose, that she's the one doing the attacking. And yeah, to find out that, this girl we have sympathy for because of her car wreck is a murderer. It's like it flips that on its head. It's like, well, should you have sympathy for this character? And it keeps flipping that over and over. Like, you'll be like, okay, I do have sympathy for this character. I do want this person to succeed. It's like, oh, but they're, lying to this poor guy and taking advantage of him, but he doesn't mind, or does he? And it's like, just every few minutes, it's like it's giving you some new emotion. It's giving you something new to think about. It's testing your alliances with these characters. And like you said, like, none of these people are really likable. I don't know that you're rooting for any of them.
I guess maybe the fireman is kind of ultimately likable, but he's pretty flawed at the same time.
He is, he's very flawed. I mean, it's like, maybe none of these people are likable, but you do want them to get happiness, I think. You want them to be fixed, I think, is maybe what you want for them, is like, you just want them to find something that fixes them and makes them happy. Because he's definitely despicable. I think they imply kind of that the son, like the real son, ran away because maybe he was being sexually or physically abused in some way. I think they kind of imply, because one of the first things he says to, I think her name's Alexandria, when he thinks it's his son, he says, like, I'll never hurt you, no one will ever hurt you, and like stuff like that. So, and also he like tries to take off her clothes. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. So yeah, there is like an implication there of real gross stuff, but at the same time, it's like you can tell he's just like this very broken person who just is, very like lonely. And I mean, not that like that's an excuse for being a horrible person, but it's like, but that's why you want him to be fixed, is like, you see that he's broken, so you want him to be fixed. He's not a monster. Nobody in this movie is like a monster, except for maybe the car, I guess. It's great. Like, it just keeps you guessing. It looks great. It looks wonderful. The dance scenes are like beautiful. They reminded me of like Greg Araki or something like that. They were wonderful. I do agree with the ending. Like, I kind of don't understand some of the stuff at the end. Like, they're doing one of their big fireman parties, and Alexandria / Adrian, I think is her name, is the son. She starts doing one of her like sexy dances that we see at the beginning of the movie, and like it bums out all the firefighters, and then it really bums out the dad character, and I wasn't exactly sure why. Like, at this point, spoiler alert, the dad tells her, like, I don't care, like he's on to her at this point. He's like, I don't care who you are, you're my son. It doesn't matter who you are, like, really, because you're my son. And it's like, that scene is amazing. It's very emotional. But then, so I don't know why all of a sudden he pulls back after seeing her dance. Like, maybe because it's feminine. I mean, I guess maybe that's the point, is like the firefighters and the dad don't want to see anything feminine from this character, I suppose, is the point of that.
It does seem like the dad has constructed this world in which there is 0% feminine influence. You know, everybody in his life is not even just a male, but like a very masculine male.
That is true. So yeah, maybe now that I'm talking about it, maybe that is it after. Yeah. But initially when I watched this last night, and I probably should have watched it days ago, because this is the kind of movie you can't just watch and then talk about the next day. You need some days to ponder it. I was kind of like let down at that part. I was like, well, that doesn't seem enough for them to kind of have this falling out, maybe. And then also I was let down because I think I really like the final scene. Like, there's a lot of emotion to it, and the performances are good, and you're not exactly sure what you should be feeling, but the reveal of the baby kind of is deeply underwhelming, I think.
It's tough because, I mean, like, what would be satisfying? Like, and I guess theoretically there is a world in which you get like an H.R. Giger type, you know, creature designer to spend millions of hours devising like the very perfect, you know, incarnation of human car hybrid that would be really satisfying. But I feel like if you take that swing, it's a 90% bet you're going to strike out anyways. So maybe it's better to just not really show very much at all, which is kind of the route that they take. Yeah.
I mean, I saw a lot of comments on Letterboxd of people being like, the baby should have been a car. And it's like, yeah, conceptually, yes. But practically, like you said, probably not.
And it kind of is. I mean, if you look, like, the spine seemed to be like mechanical looking, I think, right?
Yeah, the spine, and then also the head, where she has her plate. The baby also has that, but more so. So I think maybe that might be the metaphor, is just, like you said, like, the car might not even be real. Like, for all we know, the car is just some dude. And because she has his brain damage, she saw it as a car. She saw it as something palatable that she actually enjoys rather than just some dipshit guy. So maybe that's the metaphor, is that it's just a normal ass baby, but he sees it the way he would have seen her, with that scar and with the metal. Like, maybe that's the metaphor, I guess, like something like that. Like, he's going to raise this baby as the son that he thought he just had, kind of a thing.
Yeah. But there's also that kind of like trauma bonding element where, like, the first thing that the little girl version of Alexia does is she hugs the car. You know, she shuns her parents to go hug the car that almost killed her, you know?
Yeah. Which, I guess is a good bookend, because that's what the firefighter dad. I wish I knew these characters' names. Firefighter
Vincent.
dad. Vincent, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Vinny.
that's what that's what he does with the baby. So yeah, this movie beginning and ending with a hugging of something that may be mechanical is nice.
Yeah, and again, it's like, is that maybe some kind of does the automobile represent like American culture and its impact on European value? Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe, you know, it could mean anything, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting that you say that, because for a lot of the movie, I was wondering. Alexia has that tattoo on her chest that says "Love is a dog from hell," which is a Charles Bukowski quote, I believe. And I was wondering, I was like, why would a French person have a tattoo in English? That's kind of weird, right? Like, seems atypical. So I don't know if that's the actress's tattoo that is just in the movie, or if that is makeup. I imagine it's makeup, because they had to give her that being pregnant prosthetic. So
yeah, it
must be intentional. And Bukowski's like just deeply American, like a very American writer. So maybe there is something to what you're saying about this somehow being about America.
By the way,
maybe that's just the lady's tattoo and it means nothing. I don't know.
It could be either one. But by the way, that pregnancy looked incredible. Like, in terms of the effect, it looked 100% real. I don't even know how they did it.
Yeah, it was astounding.
Because she's like fully nude in like probably 80% of this movie, and then like just pregnant, as all hell, but you don't see the seams or nothing.
Yeah, and it's like, it gradually gets more and more as the movie progresses. So it's, to come up with that many prosthetics that are all seamless is pretty wild.
Yeah, well, if you're in the mood out there for a convincing pregnancy special effect, you got it right here in Titane.
Yeah, I agree. And if you are in the mood for confusing emotions, this is also the movie for you.
I also wanted to shout out the appearance of a Salem State College sweatshirt that our lead character wears. This being the university in Salem, Massachusetts. It's probably best known for being the alma mater of Walter Day, famed video game scorekeeper from King of Kong, before he dropped out in 1978. But can you still call it your alma mater if you didn't graduate?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. Well, in either case, we see you, Walter Day. Keep making that music.
Yep, I agree.
And you like this?
I do like this, yeah.
Nice. You'll be looking forward to whatever Julia cooks up next?
Very much so, yeah. I feel like this is also the kind of movie that, like, in 2 years, I'll absolutely love it. Like, I firmly like it now, but it's one of those, like, movies I anticipate that I'll probably think a lot about and just end up loving eventually, like in Eraserhead.
Yeah, or Doom Generation. I feel like this got a lot of the kind of hallmarks of a Bowman favorite,
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, I'm almost too scared to ask what frightening feature you're going to try and spook me with next week, which I guess, by the way, let's check in on this. Were you spooked? It's fair to say that you probably weren't spooked.
I had existential dread, but I wouldn't say I was spooked.
Maybe you got unsettled.
Deeply unsettled.
Okay. Well, let's not go overboard.
I got a couple of movies here. A few movies. So I got a few movies here that I find are legitimately spooky, legitimately scary. But it kind of depends on where you want to go. What kind of spooks you want. So would you like a familiar classic that I know you've seen that is scary, or would you like to watch something new that is pretty much universally recognized as being good and spooky, but it's a fairly new movie, or an old familiar classic? Which fork in the road would you like to take?
When you say fairly new, what kind of year are we talking about here?
Within the last 20 years. It's got an average rating of 2.9 on Letterboxd, but it has a spike at the 5 stars end of the movie. So a lot of people find this very scary.
I don't know about these newfangled movies. Honestly, if you had told me it was 2024, I might be more interested. My fear is that this is going to be something from, the dreaded 2010s.
It's 2008.
All right, I'm going old school. Let's get that classic.
All right, a familiar classic. Would you like something that's supernatural, or would you like something paranormal?
Well, what's the difference?
That's a good question. I don't know. Really, I just have 2 different things, and I want you to pick. So I don't know.
I'll take Supernatural.
Supernatural
for 500.
Then we're going to be talking about Nosferatu, directed by Werner Herzog. A very spooky movie.
All right. I got that on Blu-ray, I think.
You've made a good choice.
My Werner Herzog box set.
I know you like to have Werner Herzog.
Okay, all right, yeah. I've got thoughts about this movie.
Okay, it's spooky. It's very spooky.
What did I avoid?
You avoided The Strangers from 2008 and Brian De Palma's Carrie.
Oh, boy. Boy.
Did you make the right decision in retrospect?
Can I switch to either of those 2?
You would rather watch either of those than
These are all
Didn't
three
hurt them?
great picks, but I feel like I will have more. Well, didn't we already do Carrie on the show on JFD? We must have
that's
done
one of-
Carrie.
No, that's one of the few De Palmas we haven't done.
Oh my goodness!
I'll just out of all these, you just go ahead and pick. I'll lay it all out there. Which one of these movies do you want to watch? Because I think they're all legitimately great, and I think they're all legitimately scary and Halloweeny. So whichever one you want.
Guess what? This will surprise the heck out of you. I'm picking The Strangers.
Oh, play an O drop for me.
Oh.
I thought you would play the more excited one.
Oh.
All right, yeah. This movie legitimately scares me. I think this is one of the scariest movies that I can think of. So I would be excited to see what you think about this.
I never seen it. I've wanted to see it. And I feel like I've had a few people mention this movie to me in the past month or so. And I might have already, put this on my watch list for the month if you hadn't picked it. So now I can kill two birds with one stone.
Okay. Yeah, it does say right here on Letterboxd, Sean Byron wants to watch this.
There you go.
Proof.
I mean, we all know that I love Carrie. It's probably in the top 50 greatest movies of all time.
I would agree.
All right, well.
I love De Palma. I'm sure we'll get to it. We'll get to all those De Palmas. We still got to do Scarface. We got to do Snake Eyes.
Oh, yeah.
I'll make some plans now for Brian De Palma. We'll get some of these movies together next year.
I like that. Yeah.
But all right, The Strangers. It's on HBO Max right now and a bunch of other places, I'm sure.
Okay, well, it's settled then. The Strangers is how JFS will conclude its Schlocktober. How will JFD conclude its Schlocktober? We don't know yet. We don't know. With 3 movies, we presume.
Very possibly, yes.
But it's very much under wraps. It's very secretive right now. I think there will be a Schlocktober episode, but you'll have to stay tuned to find out exactly what that will entail.
Yeah, that is probably in 2 weeks, but we'll keep you posted.
Probably in 2 weeks, but before that, we'll be doing The Strangers. And before that, you can reach out to us via all the usual methods that we tell you about always every week. You can send us an email at jftpodcast@gmail.com. You can go to junkfooddinner.com and check out all of our old Mac episodes of both this and JFD. You can go to facebook.com/junkfooddinner, which has the handy dandy call now button that you can click, which will redirect you directly to our junk mail line, which I believe is 347-746-JUNK. That's 347-746-5865. I believe. Don't quote me on that, but if you dial it, it'll probably work. If you get a wrong number, just ask that person what the JFD line is. They probably know. They've probably gotten so many calls by now. They've figured it out. We've also got a Patreon, patreon.com/junkfooddinner, where we've got a million back episodes of bonus content that you can check out. And I think that is it. We've got a YouTube, check that out, Instagram, all the things. But I think that's it. So until next time, this is your friend Sen Biro with your other friend Perky Beantown Bowman saying, keep washing them dishes.
I like that witch.